Marty, just to look back to the weekend, the series against Toronto, what did you see from the team?
Well, I think that for the most part we competed really hard. I mean, obviously we didn't like how Friday night ended in terms of our third period, but we thought that on Saturday the guys competed really hard. We didn't win the specialty teams battle, but we did play them fairly well 5-on-5, and we're going to take that energy into this weekend's matchup against Grand Rapids.
When we talked to Coach Vincent after the game, he said he hadn't seen anything like this, and I'm talking about the rash of injuries and not making a joke out of it, but 7 out of the top 10 scorers on this team are currently out of the lineup. What can you do to sort of fill in that hole but not fall into it as a trap?
Yeah, well, I think the key is we're not trying to replace those players. Those players are very good players in their own right, and the guys that are coming in have to play our role, our system, and fit the role that they're comfortable with. And I think that maybe we may not score as much, but we have to play the same system, and that's a good thing with Pazzi is that our structure is tight and guys can come in and adjust fairly quickly to our system. So, some guys get a little bit more opportunity, and that's always a good thing. So, we're taking it as an opportunity for maybe some younger players or inexperienced guys to get a real taste of the American League and some heavy minutes. And we saw in our last road trip out west that a guy like Logan Stanley really took advantage of the fact that our defense was depleted in terms of injury, and he played, outstanding and, probably logged 25 to 30 minutes a game. So great opportunities for guys that are in the lineup, and we're not really focused on the guys that are out. It's just the guys that are in and what they can do to help us. And we like what we've seen from some of the new guys.
What sort of conversation do you have with one of those guys when they come in for their first game out of PTS? So Brent Peterson this past weekend.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of the Jets and the Moose and the system that we have is that there's video in place, there's a system in place that translates well whether guys are coming up or from the East Coast League or coming down from the NHL. The system is the same, so we have a basic plan for call-ups, and that comes right from the top, and Pascal's done a very good job of messaging that to the players when they come in, and also giving them the feeling that we believe in them and we just want them to play hockey the same game they've played their whole lives. So it's a different level, but at the same time it's the same game that they've played.
While the forwards lines have been sort of rotating through all these injuries, the defense is starting to settle in a little bit and get back to the original lineup at the start of the season. How much is your group going to rely on Eric Dubois' group?
Yeah, I think the defensive core is outstanding. I mean, obviously we had call-ups and injuries, but we've got really good veterans back there, as well as obviously Sammy and Logan and some younger guys that have played really well. So we're really happy with our defensive core, and they're the backbone of our team, along with Combs, who's done an outstanding job all year. So most teams like to build from the back end out, and we feel really confident with the group that we have back there.
Just a couple more for you. The crowd was something to behold at the game on Saturday. It looks like a similar crowd on Saturday for the holiday game this weekend. What can that do for a team?
Oh, anytime there's more people in the building, I mean, you can sense from the bench that the guys are appreciative of the fact that there's lots of noise and lots of people there to watch. So it's more entertaining for the fans with a little bit more contact, and I think that that little bit of extra life that the fans bring really helps both sides, really. So I thought it was excellent energy on Saturday at the game, and we hope that we can have more of that this weekend.
And then just last one, from a coaching standpoint, when you're facing a team that you're quite familiar with in Grand Rapids, is it almost helpful at this point with the way that the lineup's sort of been changing?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think so. I mean, Grand Rapids has certainly been very good in the last 10, 15 games, and we're familiar with them. We played them in the playoffs, but they do have a new coach and lots of new faces. So we'll take a look at game tape and see what they've done to adjust since earlier in the season. But at the same time, not too much changes. We're focused on ourselves and what we can do as a team and as individuals to be successful on Friday night.